So this week it's Sonic 2. I loved it for many reasons, but let me always, like always, give it to you first. Ash, what are you thinking?
To me, it paid homage to the video games.
Hmm.
So for me, it and the movie flows. The movie, I don't think there's a moment that you're not Sonic's little liners,
Yeah,
one-liners. To me, he had more character than he does in the game in a sense. They bring
yeah,
his personality out there.
they do. And in the game, he doesn't obviously say anything in the game. So when we watch him, we're like, oh, we haven't heard his voice before. Actually, a little bit in the games, but like in the older games, like when with the first Sonic and up to like Sonic 4, we just had this little character we played and we followed around. So kind of like they like Paramount had the opportunity just to go whatever voice they had,
Yeah,
and they run with it. I mean, the first one, I got to admit, didn't really like the first one.
plods along, don't it?
Yeah,
But it's obviously, I think, because Sonic's classed as a child in both movies. So playing the games, you don't really think that you're playing a kid's game in a sense.
yeah. I mean, yeah, they still hold up even today. You know what I mean? I played it the other day just because the film's out. But with Sonic 2, it's a much better rounded film. It's a bit long for a kid's film, but for me personally, for an adult, I absolutely loved it. I loved the references, the way it looked, the way Knuckles looked. He
Yeah,
looked perfect. I remember obviously with the first Sonic film, they had to go back and recreate the look of Sonic,
yeah,
and that was a good thing. I've never seen a studio act so fast to be like, you know what, we're going to relay this film. We have to change what the character looks like because how it's received online. So that was kind of cool. But yeah, I think with Knuckles, they had to learn from their mistakes, and he looked great. Obviously, Knuckles is played by Idris Elba. I was worried at first when he got announced because I know what Idris Elba's like voice sounds like, but
it's more edgy. Like when you had to listen to him when he was in the tribe, like the tribal, whatever he is,
mhm.
because it's good because it actually goes with the backstory. That's what made this movie feel good. But Adrice, you only noticed his voice when he was chatting quite stern
Yeah, yeah,
about the character.
yeah.
So
I mean, with Idris, you can see that he slips up with his accent sometimes.
yeah,
So you know there's Idris. But you know what? Did a fantastic job. And obviously let's say that with Tails as well. Tail came in at the end credits of the first one. I didn't say for the end credits of the first one, so I didn't know until I went to YouTube. It
yeah,
was like, oh, Tails is in it, and then Tails, kind of pushed to the side. Even on the poster, it got Tails
yeah.
on the two. But yeah, I mean, kind of pushed to the side but kind of gave more room for Knuckles. But the thing with Knuckles is he looked like he would actually kill Sonic, as in he looked like quite menacing.
Yeah.
But then obviously when the film progresses, you can see that he's got the reason why he's doing it, and he's actually got a heart of gold, really. Um, but yeah, I think having 2 hours is a bit long for kids, but it kind of flowed quite well.
The reference for me is the crossover that they've done from the games. Like it starts off in that the Mushroom Planet.
Mhm.
That's quite a little comical how they've done everything
Yeah,
because it's kind of a castaway scene.
it is.
And the reference with like the poster, you've got the iconic flying the airplane.
Aeroplane, yeah.
It's a lot of video game references within the game,
Hmm.
and it's just the crossovers from the Big Robotnik. It's a bit far out there, but it keeps in touch with all the video games.
Yeah,
So
yeah, absolutely. And just speaking about the whole aeroplane thing as well. That's from the third game, right? It's not,
yeah, uh,
or the
yeah, Sonic
second game.
Three when
Yeah,
when you start and you go straight and you go into the jungle.
yeah, yeah. So yeah, okay, again, like, you can see where the references come from, and the creators actually care about the fan service they're giving. I mean, it's not way too much, but for the older, mature adults that play the game and gone with Sonic throughout the years, it's just nice in a way they've added some bits in. Like, okay, that's from the game.
Yeah,
I like that. I like that a lot. So,
it
well
crosses
done.
with the new world and the video game. That's the implement what I think's good because obviously it's in a place called Green Hill,
Yeah.
but it's not the Green Hill that we know from the video games.
No, no, no.
So not the loop de loops and whatnot, but it's still enough references that you'd be like, oh, I know this from previous games.
Yeah, exactly. Even speaking about Green Hills and the human characters as well, they didn't have too much of a. They had a lot of screen time, but we didn't really care about that. I mean, when it comes to the sister getting married, we were just like, okay, whatever. Like it went on way too long. But I guess the kids found the jokes quite funny.
Yeah.
So with that,
Would you say the film would work without the human character interaction?
it's strange because kind of don't need it, but I think okay, we do need the human interaction. We do need the human interaction, but it's kind of like we didn't really, you know what I mean? Like the
It don't benefit the story.
No, it
does
doesn't really benefit the story. It just makes like the audience know that we're in the real world with these aliens, so they just wanna, you know, they kind of just wanna have a balance between animation and real life.
Yeah.
Which I get more with the first film because with the second film, kind of didn't need any of the human characters except from Jim Carrey.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, it kind of worked in that aspect, but nah, I wouldn't say it really needed it. But you know, it worked. With Knuckles as well, he kind of gets portrayed by Eggman.
Yeah.
And then you can see that, oh, you know what? Oh, I thought he was my friend. It's like, oh, get out of here. You should know. Like, you seem quite smart enough, to be clued up enough that you was getting used.
Yeah.
But you know, more for him.
Is with the Chaos Emeralds, I think it builds a good story that you can thoroughly enjoy for the runtime.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know, the ending. I guess it was kind of predictable if you played the games before.
Remember, I told you what was going to happen, and I just felt in my bones that they needed to reference this in the game, in the movie, to connect the story. Because as Jim Carrey playing Robotnik, he portrays a good figure of. Obviously, he's not fat, and there's no one-liners, Dr. Eggman, etc. But they put the corn dogs in there, so there was a lot of references, which for me was enjoyable.
Yeah, I'll get you. And obviously Jim Carrey playing Eggman brilliantly as well. Just to add that, obviously we hear that Jim Carrey is going to retire soon, and they're not going to recast anyone for the role. So we'll see how that goes.